The Parliamentary Committee on Appointments will start vetting cabinet nominees on Thursday and Friday next week. Various parliamentary teams will also be vetting principal secretaries as the Committee on Foreign Relations vets ambassadorial appointees. All nominees have been preparing themselves to face parliamentarians, but with Jubilee having a majority of members, no upsets are expected. However, for some nominees, the past may come back to haunt them as MPs would want to assert their authority in the vetting process. NASA SNUB. Senate Deputy Speaker Kithure Kindiki said he did not expect any nominees to fail. The president has done his homework well and we expect that all nominees will pass. If NASA does not want to turn up, that's unfortunate, although the committees have the required quorum. One wonders what they are doing in Parliament, he said. Suna East MP Junat Mohammed said NASA is still dealing with issues surrounding last year's general election. We are not going to engage in anything post-August 8. Unless and until we finish the issues relating to last year's elections, there is no process, product or byproduct of that day we will engage in, Mr. Mohammed said. Monica Juma. He added that it is wrong for Parliament not to vet cabinet secretaries who were retained since it's a new executive term. The cabinet nominee for Foreign Affairs Monica Juma will be facing MPs in a vetting session for the third time. In 2013, she easily passed vetting by the Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations after she was appointed to be the PS for Defense. In 2014, she swapped places with Mr. Mutahi Ringo and she was moved to the Interior Ministry. It was in 2015 when she was named the secretary to the cabinet appointee that MPs openly rejected her. The lawmakers adopted a report of the Committee on Administration and National Security that vetted the former Defense PS. Favors. In the report, the committee had recommended her rejection, accusing her of arrogance and insensitivity, and that she was unable to spell out her achievements at the Defense and Interior Ministries. However, their verdict was seen to have been largely based on a letter Dr. Juma wrote to clerks of the National Assembly and the Senate, asking them to stop MPs from trooping to her office, seeking appointments and transfers for their people. A proposal by National Assembly Majority Leader Aidan Dewell to extend the duration for considering Dr. Juma by 14 days was rejected in a vote. A total of 152 lawmakers voted against the proposal as 50 backed it, sealing Dr. Juma's fate. Kaya Langwa. Almost similar to Dr. Juma's case was Major Gen. RTD, Gordon Kaya Langwa, who was then Director of Immigrations, but was nominated to replace her at the Interior Ministry. Despite the president having announced his name, it was quietly withdrawn and eventually Dr. Karanja Kibicho was made Interior PS. Mr. Kaya Langwa has been nominated to be Immigration PS. Mr. Kariako Tabiko's vetting will also be closely watched. The jury is still out on how he performed as the first Director of Public Prosecutions. Mr. Tabiko is the nominee for the Environment Ministry. Nelson Marwa. MPs are likely to demand answers on why the fight against corruption has made little progress. But former Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Marwa is likely to be also closely watched. Mr. Marwa is President Uhuru Kenyatta's nominee for the position of Devolution PS. In his trademark provincial administration uniform, Mr. Marwa was the embodiment of national government at the coast, and his appearance at the committee in a suit will be a break from a past that has been characterized by confrontational pronouncements. The rest of the nominees who will appear before the committee are Professor Margaret Gabia, Public Service, Mr. John Muniz, Mining. Others are Mr. Rashid Akessa, Sports, Ms. Farida Karoni, Lands, Ms. Cicely Kariuki, Health, Mr. Euchre Yatani, Labor, and Mr. Peter Munya, EAC. The nominees for PS positions include Ms. Safina Kwaku, Public Service, Mr. Makaria Kamwa, Foreign Affairs, Dr. Julius Muya, National Treasury, Mr. Hamadi Boga, Agriculture, and Mr. Peter Tum, Health. Those nominated for ambassadorial positions include 7 former CSs dropped from the lineup. They include Professor Judy Wakhungu, France, Dr. Cleopa Mailu, UN, Geneva, Mr. Dan Kazungu, Tanzania, Ms. Phyllis Kondi, Belgium and European Union, Mr. Willie Bett, India, Professor Jacob Kamnii, UNESCO, Paris, and Mr. Husan Wario, Austria.